sit. Always have Winston sit and wait. Never restrain him. Make sure that he's really waiting. With your right hand, lean over, pat his chest and say, go to your mat. And then you say down. And he knows how that goes. And you start your exercise. He needs to stay there. If he stays there and doesn't bounce around, then you can start to reward him, just like this. See how I'm putting it right on the mat in front of him? Good. He's going to do all kinds of things, like you probably just saw he started to go for my hand because he's so easily overstimulated, and of course he's only 16 weeks old, so he's still a hyper puppy, but he's way less hyper than he was when I started. And so if you just stick with the program, don't react to his little all his little tricks, he'll stop trying them and they'll fade away, and he'll click into the exercise like you see him doing now. See how I'm really pausing before I leave it there and how he's waiting? Good. You need to insist on that. Just do it easily 2 or 3 seconds like that, so he's really waiting until you withdraw to take it off the mat. What you don't want is you go down and start giving him the food and he's all after it like that. He's very hungry now too, so I've been feeding him on the mat. A lot of his meal is on the mat. This natural balance sausage here, this is the lamb, he really likes it. It is complete food, so you can feed him this and it's part of his daily meal, as well as feeding him all of his regular food later after we're done. So although he's hungry now, he knows he has to stay calm or else he doesn't get the food. Good. So it helps him develop self-control, which of course is what this training is all about, because if he doesn't start doing all these behaviors on his own, controlling himself, calming himself down, and not doing all the crazy stuff he used to do, then there's no training. We can't be watching him every second and restraining him and correcting him and all that kind of stuff. This is all about teaching him how to be different, so we don't have to do that. And all we have to do is reward him when he does the right thing, of course. So this exercise is very important because it teaches him self-control. Whatever he learns on the mat carries over to real life. So now after 3 weeks, he can do a downstay anywhere and stay this way because we practiced on the mat first. The mat is very powerful to use. Good. Whenever you want to develop an area, whether it's your living room or your backyard or someplace where you want him to be calmer than he was before, practice the mat exercise in that area, and he'll start to associate that area as the place where he's like this and not hyper and crazy and chewing floorboards or whatever he was doing before, destroying your house. I know he was chewing, and I know he was out of control in several different ways. So once we've established the fact that he's in a downstay, we can walk all around him, he can stay there. Then we start doing things that are more difficult. One more reward. Good. Always say good when you reward him. Timing's really important, so it's not good, it's not good and then give him the reward. Everything's got to be put together, because in the other training things that we're doing here, the sit down and all the other stuff, walking on a leash, you're going to phase the food out within a few more weeks, and when you say good and pat him on the head, he's still going to think that he got a reward. So timing's very important so that we can phase the food out as quickly as possible. So it's always like this. Good. Make sure that he associates the little reward with the word, and it really helps us later on. So I'm just going to walk farther away behind him. As you can see, we have a lot going on here. There's a lot of dogs around us, and there's other people walking around, and we're doing a little construction in this yard. It isn't usually like this, but it's kind of good because it's different than what he's been used to, and so it's just more complicated for him to stay there if I'm going in and out of gates like that. Always come back and reward him in front. It's got to be the same way every time. See how I come back in front of him, and then I walk up to him. I'm standing over him. Straight down, he waits. Good. No matter where you go, you always come back to right here, reward him that way. Never reward him from the side or anything like that. all these exercises, all the training works better, and you'll have results a lot quicker if you do it the same way every time, because the more specific you are in the way you do the exercises, the faster he'll learn, the more he'll get it. Dogs don't generalize well, so, and especially a puppy, you need to be laser beam specific for them to learn something really well, really quickly. And of course, that's our goal. You don't want to be messing with this next year. You want to do this now, have him really well trained, and then it's in there forever. Good. And you can do other things like pull on the leash. He knows there's only one way he leaves this mat, and that's when he's released in a certain way. Good. Pull on the leash from different angles. Good. You can, you may not be able to do this because you're going to be developing a new relationship with him. Right away, you won't be able to do it, but after a few weeks, you'll be able to do what I'm about to do. But you can even do things that might be really difficult, like, "You're such a good boy." That would normally make a dog pop up, especially a puppy. Good. He gets a reward for that. Do that from different angles. Do that. Do something that might, spook him. "What a good boy you are." Good. If he did get up, you stay calm and you say no, and you do you step into him, which you'll see in other parts of this video, in other circumstances. You step into him, do your little circle, put him back, lift up your foot like that. He's just going to drop and go back to where he was before.